Hi, I'm Senator Mike Crapo from Idaho. Thank you for watching the Western Caucus Weekly Address. I'm going to speak briefly about some of the unfortunate impacts that federal government overreach is having on honest, hard-working Americans, particularly when it comes to environmental laws. In North Idaho, there is a small community called Priest Lake. Situated on a lake of that name, Priest Lake is a small-town America in one of the most beautiful places anywhere in the country. It's where everyday Idahoans and other Westerners go to enjoy recreational opportunities and slower pace of life. People like Mike and Chantell Sackett. The Sacketts are like any other Idaho family, patriotic, hard-working small business people who hope to save up enough money to build their dream home on Priest Lake. The owners of a small business construction company, they bought a small lot in 2005, hoping to build a 3-bedroom home. They got the proper permits from the county in a platted subdivision and began laying a foundation for their house. After beginning their work, they got a visit from the EPA, who told them that they had to immediately cease construction, remove the foundation, and restore the property because it could be a wetland. The Sacketts were incredulous. There was no water on the property, no rivers, no streams, nothing that resembled a wetland, just dirt, rocks, and plant life. But that didn't matter to the EPA. They claimed that the property was on their national wetland inventory and that the Sacketts had to either comply immediately or face up to $32,500 a day in fines. The Sacketts wanted to have their day in court before the government could start fining them, but they were told that that was not an option. Backed into a corner and seeing no other way out, they sued the EPA, claiming that the agency violated their constitutional rights to due process. 6 years and millions of dollars of possible fines later, the Sacketts have endured an unforgivable act of the government interference, have essentially lost their property, and have had their case thrown out by 2 federal courts. But thankfully, there may be some light at the end of the tunnel. One court did decide to hear their case, and it just happens to be the highest court in the land, the United States Supreme Court. Come early next year, the Supreme Court will decide if the EPA violated the Sacketts' constitutional rights. There are countless cases like this one, where the EPA and other federal agencies seemed more interested in forcing compliance than giving any consideration to private property rights, individual rights, basic decency, or common sense. The Sacketts are like any other honest, hard-working family, but their lives have been turned upside down because a federal agency was more interested in beating them into submission than doing the right thing. I could not be happier that the Supreme Court has decided to take this case. If the case of the Sacketts does not convince people that the EPA and other federal agencies have exceeded their authorities under our laws, I don't know what will. This type of thing is not supposed to happen in America, where property and individual rights are hallmark examples of what makes this country so great. The federal government has lost its way, because if it can target the Sacketts, it can do the same thing to anyone. We must rein in the federal government, but we need the help of ordinary people to do so. To those of you watching, call your senators and your congressmen and tell them to step up and hold the government accountable. Our country's future depends on stopping this gross overreach of executive authority and restoring individual rights, private property rights, and most of all, good, honest government to its rightful place. We had it once, and we can have it again. Thank you.